something Islamic, something Lawal or thereabout. And he was speaking, and I was enjoying his sermon. And suddenly he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm running out of time." I was at home. I'm learning from this fellow, and they say his time is up.
Welcome to Mediator Channel. Please kindly subscribe.
You can be sure of one thing. The God who is faithful to your father will be faithful to you also. I found that very refreshing, because whatever God is doing in the Redeemed Christian Church of God today is as a result of the covenant he made with my Father in the Lord. When you hear that the Redeemed Christian Church of God is in more than 190 nations of the world, all you need to ask yourself is this: how many of these nations have I visited? And you can accuse me of anything, you can't accuse me of laziness, even if I'm the one saying so. As a matter of fact, if I have any problem at all, it's a problem that I overwork, and I know that. And I know that because my children will come to me and say, "Daddy, you must rest." So I say, "Yes, sir. But before you rest, come and solve my problem first." I've not been to many of the nations of the world. There are places. I think it was last week, and we were talking about when are we going to visit this particular nation. We had the name. I think we got a letter or so from our pastor in that nation. And I don't even know where that place is on the map. So we had to ask Google, where is such and such a place? And then they said, if you are going to that place, if you want to go east, then you get to Australia. And when you get to Australia, then you go to this place, and then you go to this place, and then you go to that place. I said, I see. And if you want to go west, you get to America, then you go to, what is the name of that place now? Then you go to one place, and then you go to another place, and then you go to another place. So it looks as if whichever way you turn, you have to go around halfway around the world to get to that place. I've never been there. And I understand that one of the children of my pastor is representing that nation in the Olympics. But there is a God who is a covenant-keeping God. He's keeping the covenant he made to my father. Me, I'm just enjoying myself riding on the back of the covenant. I pray for every one of you listening to me today, in the name that's above every other name, that God that has been faithful to your fathers shall be faithful to you. Now, since this is the night for the youth, I'm going to approach my own little talk mathematically. You see, during my own time in the secondary school, we were still under the British, and they had a law. It doesn't matter how good you are in all subjects. If you fail in English, you fail in all. In other words, you can get A in mathematics, A in physics, A in chemistry, A in biology. If you fail English, you still fail. And I wasn't good in English. I was good in all the other subjects. How am I going to allow English to fail me? So I thought I would do something. And in those days, in our days, seniority counted very much. I mean, if you are in what we call class 1 or class 2, I think you call it form now, form 1, form 2. We called it class in those days. If you are in class 1 and you go to class 3 and you go in without permission, your senior can ask you to kneel down or bend low, or teachers will come to the class and see you doing that, and they will do nothing, because seniority counted. And there was somebody in the school. He was my junior, but I think he was born in England, so he knew English very well. So I called him aside. You are going to teach me English. You understand? He said, yes. Anytime I have money, I will buy you granite. But if you tell anybody that you are the one teaching me English, you'll be in trouble. Funny that you are a senior. You need help, and you are threatening the one who's going to help you. He taught me English. What he has taught me, he cannot take back. I'm forever grateful to God for him. But from those days till now, I will learn from anyone junior to me. It doesn't matter who he may be. There are some of you who are already too big. Me, I am still learning. So, early this year, I was invited to come and preach. One young man in Lagos called a conference, and I was to be one of the speakers. And because I would be speaking there, and I saw the names of those who would be speaking before me, I knew I better sit down and hear what they are saying, so that when I get there, I won't make a fool of myself. And there was one young man among them. His name is something Islamic, something Lawal or thereabout. And he was speaking, and I was enjoying his sermon. And suddenly he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm running out of time." I was at home. I'm learning from this fellow, and they say his time is almost over. So I decreed from my room, "Father, let them increase his time." Five minutes later, he announced, "Thank God they have increased my time." I said, "Glory be to God." May I decree tonight, your time of success shall be increased. Shortly after they increased his time, he made a statement, which I'm going to talk on tonight, on God's faithfulness. What he said was, because God is faithful, we can be full of faith. I said, and my mathematical brain began to work. God is full of faith. Therefore, God is faithful. Therefore, I can be full of faith. Quickly, I grabbed my notes and I wrote the thing down mathematically. God equals faith plus full, equation 1. Therefore, I can be full of faith. Adeboye equals full plus faith, equation 2. And I solved the two equations simultaneously. I'm talking to the young one. Those of you who are old, don't worry. I'm coming your way soon. And I saw immediately the thing that links me to God, the thing that can make me become like God, is faith. The Bible tells me that faith puts you in the same club as God. Why? Luke chapter 1 verse 37. Luke 1:37. For with God nothing shall be impossible. And then Mark chapter 9 verse 23, Mark 9:23 says, if you can believe, nothing shall be impossible unto you. Nothing shall be impossible to him that believes. With God, nothing shall be impossible. That puts you in the same club as God, if only you can believe. Why? Because God is faithful. If you believe in him, nothing shall be impossible unto you, because faith links you to God. You and God can work together as partners. And I'll just mention just a few things that you can do, or let me say I can do, because I believe God. I believe God. God is faithful. Whatever God can do, I can do it. Oh, sir, aren't you going too far? Well, why don't we find out? You know the reason I can move mountains, and in the name that's above every other name, every mountain in your life shall be moved tonight. It's because the Bible says in Mark chapter 11, verse 20 to 23, Mark 11, 20 to 23. Have faith in God. Then you can say to this mountain, mountain be thou removed. And it will obey you. Why? Because you are a partner to the one who was there before the mountains were brought forth. Psalm 90, verses 1 and 2. Psalm 90, verses 1 and 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, God had been in existence. He knows the foundation of the mountain. So when I believe that faithful God, and I say to mountain, mountain move, my partner, the faithful God, will dig the mountain from its foundation and throw it away. As God lives, I decree tonight, every mountain that followed you into June will not be around by July. Some people were interviewing me some days ago. They said, sir, when you got to this campground, total jungle, headquarters of highway robbers, and God said to you, this is the city I promised you. How do you feel? I rejoice. I rejoice because if he said this is the city and the land was only 4.5 acres, when he said this is the city, I didn't see the trees. I didn't look at the fact that we are in the midst of absolute jungle, darkness, etc. I saw a city. Why? Because the one who spoke is a faithful God. As God lives, every great thing that God has promised you, like my children have been saying, will come to pass. If I can only have faith in God, I can cast out demons. Because he says so. Mark 16, verse 17. Mark 16, verse 17. This sign shall follow them that believe in my name. They cast out demons. Who said so? The one who says so is the one who is the Lord of hosts. Psalm 24, from verse 7 to 10. Psalm 24, verse 7 to 10. The Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle. The King of glory himself. Lord of hosts. Controller of the hosts of heaven. Controller of the hosts on earth. Controller of hosts underneath the ground.
Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. See you next time.